Welcome to Supernatural Japan, the podcast where we dive deep into the strange, the haunted, and the mysterious corners of Japanese folklore and history. I'm your host, Kevin O'Shea, and tonight we're heading into one of Japan's most infamous urban legends. A story that has terrified generations of schoolchildren. It's a tale whispered in hallways, scrawled in notebooks, and passed down from one nervous student to another. This is the legend of Hanako-san, the ghost in the school bathroom. If you've ever lived in Japan, you probably know that bathrooms in older schools can be unsettling. Dim fluorescent lights, cool tile floors, and the quiet hum of the empty building after hours. It's here, in this setting, that Hanako-san is said to appear. The story goes like this. On the third floor of many Japanese schools, there's a girl's bathroom. If you knock 3 times on the third stall door and ask, "Hanako-san, are you there?" you might just hear a faint voice reply, "Yes, I am." And if you're brave enough, or foolish enough, to open the door, you'll see a young girl with bobbed black hair wearing a red skirt. Sometimes she's standing, and sometimes she's crouched on the toilet seat. And sometimes she's waiting just behind you. Like many Japanese legends, there isn't just one version of Hanako-san's story. Some say she was a student killed during an air raid in World War II while hiding in the bathroom. And others claim she was a victim of bullying or a violent crime. In every version, though, Hanako-san is a symbol of innocence lost. A ghost trapped between childhood and the afterlife. Hanako-san first gained national attention in the 1950s and 60s, as Japan's post-war urban legends began to spread through newspapers, magazines, and later television. By the 1980s and 90s, she had become a pop culture phenomenon, appearing in manga, horror films, and even children's books. What's fascinating is that the legend evolved differently across regions. In some areas, she's harmless, a spirit who might answer your call but disappears when you open the door. In others, she's violent, dragging victims into the toilet to the other side. A few modern retellings even blend her with other bathroom spirits, like Akamanto, the red cloak ghost, turning the restroom into a full-blown supernatural hotspot. Before we go any deeper, let's take a quick supernatural sidebar. Hanako-san isn't alone. In fact, she's part of a much bigger tradition in Japan known as Gakko no Kaidan, literally school ghost stories. These tales started spreading wildly and widely during the 1960s and 70s, around the same time Japan's modern school system and post-war culture were rapidly changing. Students across the country began telling creepy stories that all took place in familiar school settings: bathrooms, music rooms, storage closets, and deserted hallways. It was a way for kids to process the everyday fears of growing up: loneliness, exams, bullying, or just the unease of being in a quiet school after dark. Over time, these stories evolved into a full-blown subgenre of Japanese horror. You'll find Gakko no Kaidan in manga, movies, anime, and even educational ghost books meant to thrill kids while sneaking in lessons about courage and friendship. Hanako-san became the queen of them all, the ultimate classroom ghost. She's instantly recognizable, a perfect mix of spooky and sad, and she represents something every student in Japan can relate to: curiosity, fear, and the irresistible urge to open the door even when you know you shouldn't. But why a bathroom? In Japanese folklore, restrooms have always been considered liminal spaces, or an in-between space. Places between the pure and the impure, between the living and the dead. Traditional beliefs once held that toilets could attract kami, or spirits, if not properly respected or cleansed. Do you remember the episode of Supernatural Japan where we talked about the yokai Akaname? She's the bathroom filth flicker who is attracted to dirty bathrooms. The concept of a dirty bathing space has such an impact on a culture that they created a yokai to encourage people to keep their bathrooms clean. A clean and tidy bathroom means no creepy Akaname yokai. Even today, many Japanese restrooms feature charms or talismans to ward off misfortune. A quiet nod to old superstitions that never fully disappeared. So, Hanako-san may not just be a ghost story. She's a reflection of deeper cultural anxieties, about growing up, about purity, and about the thin line between the safe, everyday world and something far more mysterious. Now, if you ever have the chance to visit a Japanese school, take a moment to listen. When the halls are quiet and the lights flicker just a little too much, you might hear it. 3 knocks. Hanako-san, are you there? And somewhere in the darkness, a soft voice might whisper back, "Yes, I am." Thanks for listening to Supernatural Japan. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a review to help others discover the show. Now, there have been a lot of new listeners joining us from Spotify, and I want to welcome you all to the podcast. Thanks so much for joining. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Now, to see photos of what Hanako-san might look like, please follow the podcast Instagram at Supernatural Japan. There will be lots of different representations of her there, from movies to anime and manga. And you'll also find those pictures over on our Facebook group as well. The links are in the show notes. Now, I'm on Blue Sky and X at Mad for Maple, where I post spooky things and a lot of things that aren't spooky, simply about life in Asia. And you can shoot me, Kevin O'Shea, an email anytime you'd like at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your stories, your ideas. Just reach out and say hi to me. I'd love to hear from you. I'll get back to you as well. Now, you can support the show over on Buy Me a Coffee for one-time donations, or you can also be a member. Some amazing people have already supported the show over on Buy Me a Coffee, and that has really helped a lot for me to upgrade my equipment and make this podcast sound even better. The links for that will be in the show notes as well. And that's it. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and don't forget to knock 3 times.